Hey everyone, Midit's here. Well, we finally made it. We have finally reached the #1 spot. And now if you're new here, I'm ranking and reviewing every single season of Pokemon. Check out those videos first, if you haven't already seen them. And if not, you probably already know what the #1 spot is going to be. And here we go. At spot #1 is... Yup, Pokemon XY. Now here's the thing, before I start talking about the show itself, you need to know an important thing before we start talking about it. And that's the show that came directly before it. The last place spot, Pokemon Black and White. Now, you probably know this, but Black and White was extremely controversial because through all the past seasons of Pokemon, Ash had been constantly developing as a character. But then, Black and White just completely retconned all of his character development, making him the exact same idiot he was back in the first episode, just erasing all of the progress he had made. And that's definitely one of the reasons why people love XY so much. Because with Ash, it was finally returned to form to how it was like at the end of Sinnoh. XY just feels so much more like a continuation of Diamond and Pearl than Black and White does. Just because Ash feels just like he was after Sinnoh, which is so great to see considering how jarring Black and White was. Also, the rest of the main cast in this show is just really great. Like, Serena's a great character, with her eventually discovering what she wants to do, with her ending up being a showcase performer. Bonnie and Clement are cool. Also, it's interesting to do the little kid concept with Bonnie like they did with Max, except this time it's a billion times better, because, she wasn't extraordinarily annoying. I also like that they did the joke that Brock had in the original series, but putting a different spin on it, that was neat. And yeah, this is just a really solid main cast for this show. That's definitely an important thing to have, so it's good that they got that right. Now, let's talk about Ash's team in this show. Now first, I want to say this. While I did really like that in the other series, Ash had more than just 6 Pokemon, meaning there are a lot more cool Pokemon, I do also really like that Ash only had 6 in this show. That way, pretty much all of them were going to be a lot more fleshed out. Because that's a problem with quite a few of the earlier Pokemon series. It's that Ash would get a really cool Pokemon, use it once or twice, and then we'd never see it again. But here, since Ash only has 6, that means all of them get, a good long chance to spotlight. And man, this is just such a cool team. Like Noivern, Hawlucha, Talonflame, they have some cool episodes. Goodra was just insanely OP that until the Pokemon League, it actually had a 100% win rate, which I just find insane. That it was that strong that for it to lose, it had to be in the Pokemon League, where obviously it was just going to automatically eventually go down. And of course, you gotta talk about Ash's Greninja. That is just such a great story with Ash's Greninja. And the Ash Greninja form is so cool. And I'm not sure if this is a hot take or not, but this might actually be Ash's best team, because in here, there's just no weak links whatsoever. And I'm not talking about strength, I'm just talking about the Pokemon's character. This is his best team character-wise. Team Rocket, like always, is classic Team Rocket, so that's nice. Also, the rivals in this show are really good, including ones that aren't Ash's. But obviously the highlight here is Alon, because he's pretty much Tobias, but better. If you remember in Diamond and Pearl, there was Tobias, a trainer in the Pokemon League, who just shows up absolutely out of nowhere and destroys Ash with his team of legendary Pokemon, which I would say is the worst way a Pokemon League has ended. But to be honest, a lot of the endings in the Pokemon Leagues kind of stink in this show, to be honest. But pretty much, he's that concept done a billion times better. For example, he doesn't just show up out of nowhere. And also, they have the Pokemon special they did, where it gives you his backstory. And it was great that they showed that, because, it made you feel for the character. And he didn't just feel like some random character they brought in out of nowhere just so Ash wouldn't be able to win. So yeah, he is a really good rival, because he's actually a pretty interesting character. Now, normally this would probably end up being the part where I talk about the cool fights in this show, but there are just so many I can't name them all. Because pretty much every single gym battle in this show is just such an amazing spectacle because I have no idea what changed, but the fights in this show are just so great to look at. So pretty much every single gym battle is great. Any of the battles in the Pokemon League are just super good to look at. And of course, the big final battle story arc is just incredible. This whole show looks incredible. There's also a bunch of great story arcs in this show, like the story arc they have with Corina and them helping her get a Mega Stone. There was also another one of those camp arcs they had like in Diamond and Pearl, which they did again here, which was pretty fun. The whole storyline with trying to master Ash Greninja is really cool. Also, obviously, the Kalos League is just wonderful. And man, just the final Team Flare arc is so cool with how they just bring back everyone for one final battle. Like, it's really just awesome and grandiose, and it's not really something we get to see a lot in Pokemon, and that's just awesome. There's just a ton of good story arcs in this show, and even just like the one-off episodes that don't have a lot of impact on the story are just still really enjoyable. Now, I've been going on and on about how great this series is, but you might still be wondering why this is at the #1 spot. And I feel that any of the minor problems in this show can easily be ignored, while in some of the other series, there are some problems which are extremely distracting. So that's definitely a point to XY. And also, I just feel like the entire Pokemon series was leading up to this moment. And now I'm going to say this. You don't have to watch every single Pokemon series before you watch XY. I didn't the first time I watched it, but this show is so great when you do. Because it feels like the entire series was going from Ash at the very beginning, who's extremely overconfident and knows basically nothing about Pokemon battling, to this version of Ash, which in my opinion is Ash at his peak. And I'm confident in saying that this is the best Pokemon series. Well guys, that's going to be it for this video and this mini-series. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did and you want to see when new videos of mine come out, go subscribe. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.